I'm joined by Marcus Parrumpa DaMatta, coach of the stars at American Top Team. Parrumpa, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. You're here to corner Claudio Silva?
Yes.
That's it, right? It's always so many fighters with you.
Yeah, I mean, Mokayev did a camp with us, but he had some previous guys, already arranged for his corner, royal family. So we can go against the royal family, But I'm here to help him out as well.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's start off with Claudio. He had such an amazing winning streak, but I know activity's been a bit of a problem with him. He had that long layoff, and then he came back on a 2-fight losing skid. But what have the conversations been like with Claudio? What you guys been talking about to get him back to good form?
Well, the last couple of fights, he was not an American Top Team. He had some visa issues. He had to go to Brazil. So he was not at his best. His body was not feeling very well. For this camp, the first part, we have like 3 parts of the camp. The first part was actually recover his body, recover his injuries, get him fit to start training. And then we start training lightly and then start training, 100%. And then we took the fight, He had to withdraw from the last London card. We were supposed to be here in London. On the last London card, he couldn't go because his body was But now he's completely, healthy. He's completely 100%, trained. His mental is amazing. It's in his hometown. He's undefeated here in London. So we hope that he comes up for a good show.
What do you think of Nicholas Dalby as an opponent? What are some of the things you guys have been working on?
Well, obviously, Dalby is a striker, comes from a karate background. He's a good striker, brawls, kind of strong, But obviously, what we're going to explore is the grappling scene, the wrestling, the jiu-jitsu, which, Claudio's best, So we're going to try to explore that as well.
And you said you've been working with Mokayev, really a phenom, right? I mean, being a ground expert, how good is his grappling? We hear it's very good. I've been covering Mohamed for a while now, but for those who don't know, how good is his grappling?
Man, Mohamed's a complete fighter. He just doesn't show very, very much right now. He hasn't shown very much right now, his grappling ability, but his wrestling is good as he should be. He's a Dagestanian guy, but his wrestling is good. His jiu-jitsu is very good, very tricky. I believe that from now on in the UFC, obviously the competition is going to go higher and higher for him. He's going to show his overall abilities, that includes his grappling game.
And there are a lot of amazing flyweights at American Top Teams, so I'm sure Mohamed has been doing rounds with these guys. How has he been faring against these top guys like Pantoja and stuff?
I mean, we have so many other guys that he was training there with. He got a little bit with Pantoja, but not much because Pantoja was still recovering from his ACL surgery. And then when he started camp, for his upcoming fight with Alex Perez, we kind of like separated them all because it was a kind of like a different style from Charles Johnson. Charles is like a kickboxer, Muay Thai expert. Pantoja is more like a shorter guy. He doesn't fit very well, but they're both very friendly with each other. Mohamed knows where Pantoja is and knows where he's at. Obviously, he knows where he wants to be, but so far it's been great, both of them at American Top Team.
Who are some of the guys Mokayev has been training with?
A bunch of guys that people don't know, actually Tony Gravely, people know, he's in UFC, but he's been working with some, flyweights, even featherweights, that, usually people don't know very much about it. Leonardo, is a capoeira guy, very good Muay Thai, and other sparring training partners that try to mimic Charles Johnson,
And you corner so many guys, so I feel like if I could keep you here for forever. But Arman Tsarukyan, he fought Mateusz Gamrot. I know that was tough, 2 ATT guys, but close fight. Arman felt like he won. What was your assessment of that fight?
I agree with him. It was very tough for me, because I like Mateusz Gamrot a lot. He's always very nice to me, very respectful guy, great teammate. Arman never mentioned his name. He was actually the one that said, I want to fight Arman. It's fine, it's part of the game. We were prepared for that. Now more and more American Top Team has more and more guys fighting each other. You know, we're gonna have like Omari fight Josh in PFL in a couple of weeks. You know, and I agree with Arman. I think he won at least 3 out of the 5 rounds. You know, the 4th round, I believe it was the knockdown. You know, the 3rd round was pretty even, but I think as far as damaging and significant punches and strikes, I think Arman was more. You know, so obviously I'm kind of a little biased. You know, but I think Arman won that fight. But you know, it is what it is. You know, Vegas is known for that. You know, the judges in Vegas is kind of like, we don't know what they're judging. You know, sometimes they judge grappling, sometimes they judge striking. The same people. You know, sometimes they judge damage, sometimes they judge octagon control. So we didn't ever know. You know, we can't prepare a fighter to fight in Vegas as far as judging system, because we never know what they're looking for. One day they're looking for one thing, the other day look for something else. You know, it was tough, but you know, let's move forward. You know, Gamrot now has a fight coming up. Arman hopefully soon we'll have a fight coming up, and we'll see. Maybe they're gonna fight each other later on. You know, for even #1 contender or for the belt. We hope so, as long as it stay in American Top Team.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Petr Yan. He has a fight coming up, but before we talk about Sean O'Malley, I want to talk about the rematch with Aljamain Sterling. I know it must have been very frustrating for you seeing those ground exchanges, but he did so well in the first fight, so what do you feel like went wrong? What mistakes do you feel like Petr made in the rematch?
I think on the rematch, all he was missing was time with me. You know, the first fight we had 4.5 weeks, you know, and I think it showed on the fight. You know, he scored 7 out of 8 takedown attempts, and he defended 12 out of 13 attempts from Aljo, you know. So when we spend more time together, I think we could cover more defense and more offense on Petr. On the second fight, I had 7 days with him. You know, there was a week before, and then we had to leave for fight week. You know, that was something that we cover a lot, and not give us back, and how to defend if that happened. The defense was okay, you know, but he still have that little problem, you know. I feel that he won the fight. I think he won 1st, 4th, and 5th. You know, I could see a fight being a draw because of the second round, but I don't see Petr losing, you know, that fight, you know. It was a matter of the first round, you know, and Petr is notorious for being a little, start slowly, you know, picking up the fight because he likes to figure out his opponent. Still being slow, I think he had more octagon control, he had more active punches, you know, and significant punches and kicks in the first round. So that's why I still give him the first round, you know, and obviously 2nd and 3rd was for Aljo, and then 4th and 5th was clear for Petr, you know. So again, let's move forward. You know, like all we have to do is move forward, and maybe had the rematch again, because the first one was that, you know, a wash. You know, let's go.
And he gets Sean O'Malley. Are you going to be working with him for that camp?
I'm not sure. Usually, you know, if it's a striking fight, he stays in Russia or maybe Thailand. You know, I haven't spoke to him about it. You know, when they signed the contract, I was here already in London. You know, I'm not sure if he wants to come, you know, to ATT. You know, the fight's going to be in Abu Dhabi. You know, so we'll see. We'll talk about it. You know, we'll talk to him, and we'll see if maybe he wants to come back, you know.
Are you surprised that Sean O'Malley took the fight? He said he wanted to fight him, but a lot of people were surprised that it's official.
Yeah, I actually am, because I thought it was going to be the rematch against Pedro, you know. Or not a rematch, but the second fight against Pedro, you know. But then he took the, you know, another route, and, you know, obviously for him it's more of an exposure to fight Petr, you know. Yeah, and it didn't surprise me. You know, he wants to do big things in the UFC, you know, and Peter's definitely the #1 right now. You know, it's Aljo, Petr, and TJ. So he would be right there where he wants to be, but I don't think he will be right there. You know, I think Petr will have the advantage in striking, on grappling, on wrestling. I don't see Peter, anywhere inferior in this fight against Sean O'Malley.
How do you see Aljamain and TJ playing out? Because TJ's obviously got very good wrestling.
I think TJ has the upper hand because of the wrestling. He has a better striking, and he has, a very good wrestling ability. He's okay on the ground. We'll see. But Aljo is a tricky guy, man. We thought a bunch of things that was going to work for us against him. And obviously he's a very tricky guy. He always comes down, very well prepared, and he makes things happen. So we have to respect him.
Before I let you go, what's your travel schedule like in the coming days?
Until September, I'm every week between UFC, PFL, Bellator, up until September. I'm every week out of the house.
Well, I appreciate you taking some time. I know you're a very busy guy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much one more time.